Jake Paul responded to a video of Conor McGregor showing a boxing workout. He said, "This is embarrassing. Your chin is wide open with no head movement." Conor McGregor responded to Jake Paul with this.
Jackass.
Yo, you see that shit?
Oh yeah, he's a bitch.
Bro.
And I'll say this to the young athletes coming up, men and women: don't aspire to be, one of these like YouTuber fighters.
Right.
Aspire for world titles. Aspire for Olympic. That is how you rise. That is how forever. That is how you etch your name in history.
The entire fighting world was heartbroken. Jake Paul defeated fan favorite Mike Tyson on November 15th. The result even frustrated Conor McGregor, who lost $1 million on betting on Tyson. In his rage, the Irishman lashed out at the problem child, and the duo exchanged heated words on social media. Needless to say, the beef between El Gallo and Mystic Mac began in 2018, with Jake Paul's foray into boxing.
Conor, you're scared. Dana, you're scared. Sign the contract, you idiots. Jesus Christ.
Irish.
Thoughts on Tyson, Jake Paul? Who gives a bollocks?
Nobody gives a bollocks.
No one gives a about him.
Nobody gives a about that lad.
I hope we rattles that little dope.
I hope Tyson rocks that lad.
How was that even in Dallas Stadium?
How the fuck even get a stadium?
This is Mike Tyson Kush, yes?
This is Tyson Weed. Tyson Weed.
There's no one doing it like me. Nobody.
I'm still the king of this shit, right? I'm the king of this shit, right?
Jake Paul remains locked in a feud with Conor McGregor after his controversial fight with veteran Mike Tyson. Paul won the Tyson fight by unanimous decision, but it was an ugly watch for most, with Tyson struggling to maintain his stamina, while Paul largely kept him at arm's length, holding a huge reach advantage as well as the obvious age advantage.
Thoughts on this Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight?
Oh jeez, I don't. It's a bit strange. Is my interest? The interest is low, and I don't know. I don't really. I don't understand it.
Got it. Any difference between this one and?
I wish well for Mike.
We're gonna go. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thoughts on Tyson, Jake Paul? Mike Tyson stuck. That's what I think. Don't give a bollocks. They're wearing 14-ounce gloves. It's 2-minute rounds, is it? Is it 2-minute rounds? Who gives a bollocks? I hope Mike rattles that little dope. No one gives a about him. How was that even in Dallas Stadium?
It remains to be seen what Paul will do next, and whether he can convince any serious boxers to fight him in his bid to become a respected professional boxer. Paul has repeatedly called out Canelo Alvarez, and to no avail, while UFC superstar McGregor, who has previously tried his hand in boxing, has also been locked in a feud with the YouTube star. In response to a fight request at 170 Bs from McGregor, Paul has written on X, "Dear Conor, I know you told my team you would fight me at 170 Bs in boxing. That's never happening. But let's run it in MMA, no weight class, just like how it used to be done, but you won't." Jake Paul isn't known for holding back, and this time he went off on Conor McGregor in an epic rant. The YouTube star turned boxer made it clear he has zero respect for McGregor, calling him a dweeb and throwing out a challenge that would rattle anyone. Paul didn't stop there. He blasted McGregor for his off-ring antics and lackluster fight record recently, claiming that until McGregor gets his life together, there's no point in talking about a potential fight.
And Conor McGregor can say what he wants, but he won't fight me either. So once I knock out Mike Perry, Conor McGregor, let's run it, but you won't do it because you know what's going to happen. You saw what I did to Nate Diaz, who you went toe-to-toe with. So Conor McGregor, lay off the cocaine, get in the gym, and start winning fights, and then maybe we could have a conversation.
Jake's words hit like a bombshell. His call-out not only questions McGregor's commitment to the sport, but directly challenges his lifestyle choices. With this kind of verbal sparring, Jake Paul might just be setting up a collision course with the Irishman, but only if McGregor can clean up his act first. Paul has already penned terms with the Professional Fighters League, PFL, but he is yet to take part in an MMA fight. Meanwhile, McGregor is still signed to UFC, so he would be unable to fight in the PFL, especially with UFC chief Dana White vehemently against crossover events involving YouTube stars turned boxers like Paul. McGregor is a part owner of the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, so there could be an avenue there, though with only knuckle straps allowed instead of gloves, it would be a risky move for the problem child, with the notorious a more experienced fighter. Naturally, the risks could be greater in that variation of fighting, but perhaps only in the short term. Some studies have shown that bare knuckle boxing offers a much greater risk for surface injuries, such as cuts and bruising, but there are suggestions it is less damaging when it comes to long-term head trauma compared to boxing. The heavy gloves used in boxing increase the level of force absorbed by the heads of fighters, and thus increases the potential for trauma and long-term issues. Jake Paul has been calling out Conor McGregor for years now, asking that the two go head-to-head in the ring. The UFC champion just responded to Paul in a now-deleted post on X. "Nakisa already rang me, lad. It's this guy next for you. Good luck, pal." McGregor responded in a post that is now deleted, adding a photo of 82-year-old Senator Mitch McConnell. This is not the first time Paul has called out McGregor to fight.
What I really want is Conor.
The
I'll put
ideal
the nail
order,
in his casket.
Ideally, if you could have it your way, is it Nate, Tommy, Conor? Is KSI anywhere in that equation
Well,
anymore?
if KSI fights Tommy, he's gonna get knocked out.
Yep.
I guess it's all kind of in the air. Time will tell.
Jake Paul wrote on X in March 2022, above a video of McGregor training, "I would KO Conor in boxing or MMA, right hand of God."
Knocked out a 5-time UFC champion and embarrassed your whole company, and please let me get Masvidal. Please let me get McGregor, because I'm gonna embarrass them too.
McGregor responded to Jake's dig by posting a video of him in bed, mimicking sounds of breaths exhaled during a fight while dodging different corners of the video as if he were face to face with Paul, then saying, "Jake ass," and breaking out into laughter.
Jackass.
In December 2020, Paul posted a video to his YouTube channel titled "My $50 Million Offer to Conor McGregor" with the caption, "If you won't take this offer, you're just a scared little bitch, honestly. My team sent you a $50 million offer this morning," Paul says in the video while smoking in a cigar in his car parked out his mansion.
What the f is up, you Irish cunt? Good morning, Conor McGregor. I know you're probably beating up old dudes in a bar right now, or maybe you're jacking off because you're sick of your wife. I mean, she's a 4, Conor. You could do a lot better, but happy Monday. My team sent you a $50 million offer this morning. $50 million cash, proof of funds, the biggest fight offer you've ever been offered, but you're scared to fight me, Conor. You're me because you don't want to lose to a fucking YouTuber. You're 0-1 as a boxer. I'm 2-0 as a boxer. I just came off the 8th biggest pay-per-view event in history.
The cauldron of Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor truly began to boil when the 27-year-old boxer claimed that the Dubliner was smaller and slower than Anderson Silva, who Paul beat via unanimous decision in October 2022. Silva was considered one of the strongest mixed martial artists to have ever existed, with a record of 34 victories and 11 losses. Knocking down someone like Silva put the whole combat sports world on notice. His status was further boosted when he faced Mike Perry a few months back and knocked the BKFC champ out in the 6th round of their bout. Seeing one of his fighters being brutally KO'd like that, part BKFC owner Conor McGregor was furious with the outcome. In a tweet he wrote, "Jake Paul is the biggest pee bag I have ever seen in my life." He criticized the nearly 40 lbs weight difference in the matchup and even declared that he would fire Perry from the BKFC. But Paul simply responded with, "I said, okay Conor, after I FK up Mike Perry, then you're next." So Conor's on Twitter all the time. He's on his yacht all the time. Guess where he's not? In the ring, fighting me. Once again, he claimed that McGregor was afraid of him. Cut to the modern day, after Paul defeated 58-year-old Mike Tyson, Mystic Mac lost $1 million betting on Iron Mike and took to X to unleash his fury on the problem child. He dissed Paul's habit of taking up fights against old and slow fighters. In his tweet and delete rage, McGregor mocked Paul and suggested he face Pritchard Colon next. UFC icon Conor McGregor sparked outrage after posting and quickly deleting a disgraceful social media post mocking paralyzed boxer Pritchard Colon following Jake Paul's win against Mike Tyson in Texas. McGregor wrote, "They are eyeing Pritchard Colon for the next opponent," drawing intense backlash from boxing fans who labeled the post as cruel and tasteless. The fight between Paul and Tyson went the full 8 rounds, but the lack of drama left many disappointed. Tyson struggled to keep up with his younger opponent, while Paul refrained from delivering a decisive blow, leading some to call the bout more of an exhibition. The backlash against McGregor centered around Colin's tragic story. In 2015, Colin suffered a life-altering brain injury after repeated illegal blows during a fight, leaving him in a vegetative state. One fan condemned McGregor, saying, "That deleted tweet from McGregor about Colin was just nasta." Another wrote, "Conor be saying some messed up stuff, but this one is definitely high up on the list." Colin's injuries have left him dependent on full-time care from his mother in Orlando, Florida. Fans widely criticized McGregor's joke as insensitive, with many labeling him a scumbag for targeting a fighter whose story embodies the dangers of the sport. But that didn't steer Paul away. He simply believed that McGregor was owned by Dana White, saying he probably can't get out of his contract, but that's what he will hide behind because he's not getting in there. This last reply from Paul was indeed a jibe at McGregor's uncertain UFC comeback, McGregor vowing to return in early 2025. Even Dana White refused to talk about it during press conferences. While McGregor wants to return in early 2025, Dana White thinks otherwise. After UFC 309, the UFC CEO said, "There is no doubt Conor wants to fight. He hits me up all the time. I told you guys he probably wasn't going to fight in 2024, and he didn't. He's going to fight in 2025, probably at the end of the year. If it is earlier, that is good for all of us." With the head honcho not sure of McGregor's return to MMA, his guess is as good as anyone's at this point. However, when it comes to fighting Jake Paul, the fighting community believes that McGregor has the power to accomplish what prior opponents of Paul failed to achieve. McGregor still has 2 fights left in his UFC contract. While Dana White has repeatedly refused to partner with PFL, the only way McGregor can fight Paul is after fulfilling his UFC contract. McGregor seems eager to get done with his 2 UFC fights and said the following to Ariel Helwani: "I must get 2 fights in 2025. I must. It's the promised land. We'll see."
But of course, I'd be remiss if I don't ask about your situation. It's one of the great sagas of this past year. Are you fighting in 2024? Dana White recently saying 2025 now.
It'll be 2025.
When do we think?
You know, we'll see. My opponent that I had scheduled, Chandler, has got matched.
Are you upset by that?
No, you know, it is what it is. I just take it on board and just rock on. My job is just to go to the gym, be in the gym, be in shape. And you know, one thing is for sure, whenever it is and wherever it is, I will be 100% ready. And that's all I can focus on right now.
But Mystic Mac is still unsure of his plans after leaving the UFC. He confessed, "I don't even know what happens when my UFC contract is done. I think no one in the space knows. I'm the highest generating fighter on planet Earth right now in today's space. What happens after this? As I'm a free agent, I'm not so sure." With potential matchups like Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor and Logan Paul versus Mike Tyson in WWE being discussed, questions about authenticity and spectacle take center stage. This clip from On the Money dives straight into the heated discussion about what fans would prefer to see and whether these events are more about entertainment than competition.
Are you getting with Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor or Logan Paul versus Mike Tyson in WWE?
Probably the latter. I can see that happening. And at least WWE owns it. These fake boxing matches are just too much, man. If you tell me 100% that they're both going in there trying to knock each other's heads off, I would have been all in. Same thing with McGregor against Jake Paul, but there's no way. It would be staged, just like Tyson Roy Jones Jr. was staged. I hate this stuff, man. I'm not getting with it.
Highlighting the financial incentives, they note that Jake Paul reportedly made $40 million, Tyson $20 million, and predict even bigger earnings if Jake Paul were to face McGregor.
If you put on the spectacle that is Jake Paul and what they have done with, if you want to call it boxing or not boxing, whatever, and the star power of Conor McGregor. Paul got $40 million, Tyson supposedly $20 million. I think that the McGregor would do more. So I think there's more likeliness of Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor happening because of the almighty dollar.
Another host leans toward the spectacle of Logan Paul versus Mike Tyson in WWE.
I'm going to go with Logan versus Mike just for the sheer satisfaction of actually seeing Tyson knock out a Paul.
Ultimately, the conversation underscores the divide between fans who want genuine competition and those drawn to the entertainment value. While Jake Paul versus McGregor might attract massive pay-per-view sales, Logan Paul squaring off against Tyson in WWE could take the theatricality to a whole new level. Both ideas highlight how money and spectacle have become driving forces in modern combat sports. The debate over Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor and Logan Paul versus Mike Tyson in WWE isn't just about spectacle versus authenticity. It's a reflection of where combat sports are headed. Jake's relentless callouts and McGregor's fiery comebacks fuel the possibility of a clash that would shatter pay-per-view records. On the other hand, the absurdity of Logan Paul facing Mike Tyson in the WWE could redefine what it means to entertain in sports. While purists may scoff, these matchups highlight a new era where the lines between sport, drama, and business blur. Whether it's Jake's confidence in his problem child persona or McGregor's undeniable star power, one thing's certain: fans are hooked on the drama and the fighting world is cashing in. What's your take? Are you rooting for genuine fights or leaning into the chaos of sports entertainment? Share your thoughts in the comments section.